Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Discount Paranormal Tim, hanging out with Justin.
How's it going, everybody?
Okay, guys, and we're on to Black Knight Satellite Part D. And it's we kind of went through most of the major stuff, I think, with it. There's a little bit of follow-up. I think we to do it justice. So we're gonna wrap
Yeah,
it
oh
up
yeah,
here.
definitely, man. Like there was just some things that we needed to be said. Just didn't have time the first episode.
Yeah, I mean some of the explanations are stupid, I would say. Like the official government answers are just run of the mill stupid.
They
There's no
always
other way
are,
to put
man.
it.
There,
Yeah.
there's never like been a good cover up story for them.
Right. I think it's interesting that we're covering this, and then there was the UFO hearing last week
Yeah,
that was pretty monumental. It was pretty interesting. I'd ask you if you listened to it because you said you were gonna, but I know the answer is no. I don't even know why I'm bothering to ask you the question, but it's definitely worth watching. Watch it now. Stop. We're gonna quit this episode, and you're gonna go watch it now, and then we're gonna come back, and then you're gonna talk about
like,
it.
dude, have you seen like all the memes people been putting out about it?
No, because I don't want my feelings hurt. Because I believe in it too much.
No,
That's gonna hurt
there's
my
people
feelings.
like the government says there's aliens. The public, we don't care. Like that.
It's almost kind of like that. Like they've
Nobody's talking
desensitized
about it,
this.
man.
They've desensitized us so much we don't give a shit anymore.
No, like, dude, it's been what, a week and a half, I think, since
Yeah,
it came out.
yeah,
Not one person at my job has talked about it.
dude. Well, I mean, quit. Go to someplace cooler. Like I talked about it a little bit with people, but they don't want to hear what I have to say about aliens because I go too deep, and then they look at me like any normal person should. Like, okay, man,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's cool. Tell me about your abduction story again. You know what I mean? Like, they want to hear it. They don't want to hear it.
No.
They don't want to hear it. They
In the
want to talk
moment, you're
about
like, oh shit, they want to know.
yeah. They want to tell. They want to talk to me about how much they want to go see Oppenheimer, but never will. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna go check out Oppenheimer. Like, sure you are.
I'll tell you
Sure
right
you are.
now, I'm not going to.
You're gonna want well, and then see, and you're part of the problem, aren't you? You're
You're
part of the
right.
problem. I would go see it, but I got kids like an idiot, so I had to go see Ninja Turtles, which was actually very good.
That's another one I won't go see.
Well,
I
have you
like
tried?
Ninja
Have you
Turtles.
tried being a father to your children?
No,
Have you
I'm
tried that?
actively trying
Give it
not
a
to be.
shot. I say at least give it a shot. You know, give it like 2 weeks, and if you don't
Nah,
like it, just
man.
go back to what you were doing.
Well, in 2 weeks, the call of Mexico will become too strong. And
Dude, I was like threatening people, like 17-year-old kids at that movie theater. I was so mad because it like delayed like 45 minutes, and my kid was like freaking out. Yeah, I'm like, look, man. I went right up to the counter. I was like, look, man. Somebody is showing that kid this fucking movie. I swear to God, like somebody is showing this kid this movie. I'm not leaving here
without this movie,
without either this movie or a police escort. Like something is gonna happen here. Let's watch the movie. Let's be peaceful about it.
yeah,
You know, my kid's going, bouncing off the fucking walls, wanting to see this movie, and they're like, "Oh, we're sorry, bro. Like the server is acting weird." Do you have it on
they
film? Do you have the
well, no,
movie
the
on
problem
film?
is, dude, I used to work for them. They just get a fucking hard drive and they
Oh, is that really
slap
what
it
it
in.
is?
Yeah.
Oh,
They just get a hard drive with the movie on it and they put it in. And
right. Yeah.
so if it's messing up, there ain't much they could do about it. But I could still see the anger behind it.
Oh, I was mad. I was mad. I was getting mad because nobody was talking about the UFO hearing, and then I couldn't watch Ninja Turtles. So I was getting it was just a bad week. Like, nothing was working out for me.
Yeah,
Anyway,
not one
back
person
to the
cared,
actual
man.
show. Back to the
Yeah.
actual show. So, like the last time we were talking about Black Knight, they were forming a committee to study the strange, unexplainable object. Right, it's in polar orbit around the Earth. Again, it's not only in polar orbit, but it's going like twice as fast as any other satellite of the time period or any other known space object in orbit around Earth. Right, which is both of those things are super super weird. Right, not the forming the
Especially for the
committee.
time period.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
not so much like forming the committee part because humans love to form committees and nothing
Yeah.
ever
Oh, yeah.
happens. Yeah,
That's like bread and butter. You know,
we'll work
they
on it.
love it.
That's what a committee is for. Just to say, we'll look into it. You know what I mean? Nothing ever happens of it. But
No.
Yeah, exactly. But you're actually absolutely right. So it's for the time period that was very abnormal. For A, the polar orb, B, the speed that it was going. Now, not so much. Now that's kind of run of the mill kind of stuff that they do.
Oh, technology's gotten better. And
Right. But this is like, Jesus, what, 40 years ago, 50 years ago now? You know what I mean? Tesla's
yeah,
picking it up well over 130 years ago, 125 years ago now. Yeah, this thing's been around a minute. So
they've been
it's not
talking about
new.
it for a while.
Right. Yeah, it's been around for a while. And like so the committee wraps up whatever they're doing. And of course, they never release any of what they found to the public. So I mean, essentially it became up to like independent researchers and independent astronomers pick up slack, right? So normal folk like you and I can have any glimpse of that technology if it's real, right? Like we'll never they'll never tell us because I'm sure immediately based off like Northrop Grumman who started the committee and all that kind of stuff, it's immediately classified, instantaneous. Like the minute the committee is formed, anything they say, anything they do is immediately classified.
For sure, man.
I mean, but
and the only
I
time you
get it.
ever get any kind of, it's just like what happened last week. You have like a whistleblower show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's the only time you ever get any kind of information on this stuff.
Well, like if you watch the trial, like a cool person, then you'll know, about all the people that were killed. So it's like it makes you wonder, like how many of these people, like in committees like this or study groups or whatever they were doing, were gonna come and tell us the truth. We're gonna show us hard evidence, and we're murdered.
I'm sure at least one or two of them.
I hope I get
make
killed.
make an example.
I hope the way that I go out is getting killed by a black ops government agency for having
like the Men in Black
UFO,
show up at your house,
like sensitive alien information that I'm about to release to the public. I hope that's the way I go out.
Yeah,
because that's fucking epic. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, he had a stroke.
Oh, how'd Tim die? Man, that is. It was like this 2-day paranoia. Dude's like people were chasing him. Dude, he went through 5 states.
He drove backwards everywhere to make it look like he was leaving places instead of going through
all over him.
Yeah,
shit was.
Yeah, he was killed by a half reptilian, half human hybrid that works for the U.S. government. Oh, that old nutshell or whatever they call it.
Yeah. Oh, is that? I thought you were. I thought it would be something crazy.
Yeah. What if that becomes like normal? That would be awful. But kind of cool at the same time. Like people just getting whacked for having
like left and right.
Yeah, knowledge about stuff. That'd be awesome. So like again, so like it's up to these people that are way smarter than you or I that can study this kind of stuff, right? And like it's I mean essentially, if it is an alien satellite and it's reporting all of our stuff back to the whoever made it. I'm sure somebody had to make it and it didn't make itself. You know what I mean? Unless it's like some super form advanced AI or something like that, then maybe it did make itself. Something like that. And we're gonna be left in the dark forever. And we're not gonna have any deeper understanding of our place in the universe and our place amongst other beings, things like this, if these people don't pick up kind of the slack about it. And they need to, because it is something weird. You know what I mean? It goes into that stigma though of alien UFO kind of stuff where it's gonna like ruin your career.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, how many scientists, officers, everything, come out? They come out and say something, and then from that point on, they're the shittiest, patrols, or they're shipped off to fucking Antarctica, never to be heard from again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like some of these dudes that came out like with the Rendlesham Forest stuff, Bob Lazar, those kind of guys. I'm pretty sure they didn't think that their career would be just talking about aliens for the rest of their fucking lives.
No,
like non.
I mean, then once you come out like that, that's really all you have left.
I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
Nobody's gonna really. Yeah, but then like once it blows over, because that's what happens.
Right.
Give it another week. No one's gonna be talking about the alien trial.
Right.
Yeah.
That bums me out.
Once it blows over, then it's what? Now you have to start doing the circuit because there's no legitimate company who's going to hire you. You're the dude that was saying aliens exist. You know what I mean?
It's on your background check.
Yeah.
Crazy conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. Like it instantly shows up.
I'm gonna put that on my resume. Like I worked here for 9 to 10 years. I got all these certifications, and I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Balls
Professional conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I'm up to my fucking tits in it. What you might get hired? Who knows? It depends on how cool the boss is. You know what I mean?
And at the very least, you might get an interview just so they could talk to you.
Yeah, like
They just want to see
get
how
this
crazy you
nutbag
really
in
are.
here because he's gonna say some funny shit.
Yeah,
He's gonna say some.
This is
gonna
gonna make my day.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm gonna go home and tell Becky about it when I get home from work. We're sitting eating bland.
Dude, this is gonna be a story I tell at every barbecue.
Yeah,
for the next 20 years.
Yeah, me too. All right, so the committee. Back to the committee. So they did their best, and they're gonna continue to do their best to conceal the information. Right? Anything they found out about it, we're never gonna know. But the thing that they can't control, right, is the thing that it's emitting a signal. Tesla picked it up. The other Italian guy, he picked it up. I can't remember his name off the top of my head because who cares? It's 100 years ago. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's pumping signals out, right? So who picks it up? Ham radio operators, because they pick up everything. They pick up everything. Every time you hear about anything getting picked up, it's a ham radio.
It's from
operator.
a fucking ham radio.
Yeah,
the most outdated technology.
Yeah. Like there is a story about like the first NASA mission, like the Neil Armstrong Apollo 11, when they went to the moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had like a secret channel where they would talk about like aliens being parked around the craters and stuff like that, and weird shit was happening. Guess who picked it up? Ham radio operators. They picked it up. And I mean, everybody thinks like, come on, man, like you made that shit up. You know, I mean, it's fake. That's the whole it's fake thing. It's fake. Because they had like the official channel, the one small step for man channel, and then they had another one where they would have like top secret conversations where they switch off, and they could get picked up because it is just a signal.
Because they were saying things like, I could see them. They're like their ship is right outside, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly right. So you can't really block it. I mean, shit, it was 60 something. I mean, it was just a 120,000 mile long piece of string with 2 fucking cans on the end of it. You know what I mean? It was
all somebody had to do was tie a new can to it.
Yeah, I mean, it was super long ago. You know what I mean? They say, like your cell phone has more computing power in it than the first entire like space program did, which is nuts.
Yeah, like the first shuttle to go up had less technology in it than your phone.
Like an iPhone 1. You know what I mean?
Your Zune had more.
A Zune. That only became relevant to me because I watched Guardians 3 the other day and he had a Zune. I was like, oh man, I remember those now. I haven't thought about that since they came out.
No,
because nobody bought them.
They did not do well.
No, Windows tried or Microsoft tried. Gave it a shot. So the ham radio operators were still able to pick up the signal from the object, and that's kind of how the story continues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's from them and from the independent astronomers, right? So back to the astronomers, which maybe has never been ever uttered in a sentence before, but they took up the mantle and started researching the Black Knight. And the guy that kind of led that was a Scottish astronomer named Duncan MacLeod. Just kidding. It was Duncan Lunan.
There can be only one.
Yeah, there could be only one astronomer. The fight to the death. You know how long that would take? They're all just super passive. They're not really known for being
broadsword.
They're not really known for being violent people.
No,
they're more waifus.
Sean Connery's walking around with a peacock feather in his hair,
dude. Yeah,
a samurai sword.
Yeah, it's Carl Sagan fighting fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson. Replica swords. Somebody's walking around
with like World of Warcraft swords.
Yeah, they got like a big Buster sword. From like Final Fantasy VII.
Can't even pick it up.
Yes, with their because they have frail arms. From doing science constantly. Beakers don't weigh that much.
No. At best, it's like maximum 10 pounds.
Maybe. I think it more is like ounces.
10 ounces tops.
Yeah. The guys just study meteorites. Like, can you lift this for me? I'm struggling. Only like 5 pounds, man. Yeah, I know.
I know,
Yeah.
but I've given up on trying to lift heavy
My
objects
fucking arms
anymore.
are
Yeah.
burning.
But Duncan, he was apparently like the source of the 13,000-year-old age given to the satellite.
Right.
And he was able to obtain this its age, by analyzing delayed radio echoes given off by the alleged probe, right? The alien probe.
Right. Which is kind of like the ham operators, I'm sure we're doing too. I mean,
Which
I
I
don't know
still
if they
don't
were breaking
see
down
the correlation. To be
Right.
honest with you,
Mm.
like how can you tell the signal is 13,000? How can you tell it goes back that far?
I don't know. I don't know. You made it up. I mean,
Probably.
again, like how can somebody check your work? I mean, really? There's no
Where do
checks
they
and
go?
balances with
They
this.
can't check it because they like he said earlier, they'll threaten their career.
Right.
They can't fact check you on this, man.
Right. And the other scientist called it a dick because it wouldn't show up in the same place twice. Or every time that he tried to check it, it wasn't there or it would be there.
Yeah. It's like the thing doesn't even have the common decency to have a
Yeah.
regular orbit.
It's like not only is it an alien, but it's also a douche.
Like I can't even look at it when I want. I gotta hope I run into it.
Yeah.
But whatever message it was pumping out was decoded. It showed a star map of a faraway dual star system, commonly known as Epsilon Bootis.
Okay.
Botus or whatever, however the hell you want to pronounce it. Boots. Epsilon Boots.
It's got an umlaut over the O. You figure it out. You're so smart.
And well, this star system is approximately 202.2
Mm-hmm.
light years from Earth.
Yeah.
Or in miles, that not regular people know how many like a light year is.
Right.
How many miles a light year is. It is 5.88 trillion miles.
Is 1 light year.
Yeah. Now times that by 202.2.
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah.
Because why not? Well, I didn't. I just put in Google how much, like how many
And
miles.
there's so many
202
fucking
light years.
zeros, dude.
There's not even zeros, dude. It started throwing letters in there. It was like it was like 10 to the like something K.
Nth, yeah.
Like
Nth 4,000 power.
Dude,
Yeah.
it was nuts. It was like some shit. Like you have to be like in Goodwill Hunting. You know what I mean? To like understand what it is. Right. I'll give it to you right now. It's so 202.2 light years is 1.18866 E plus 15. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you got me.
Whatever.
They started losing me in math when they added the letters into
I think
it.
that's 1.8, like let's just say 1.89 or 1.2 with 15 zeros behind it or something like that.
Then add another 15 just for the shit.
Yeah, why not? What does it matter at that point?
When the number's that damn big, who cares?
Is it even a number? Like I don't even think it's a number anymore. Like there's not a name for it.
I don't know. They go, what was it? Like trillion? What was it, like
A
zillion or something like
is
that?
zillion
Then
real?
like
Like I just thought
gillion?
that is just like a pop culture way of saying
No,
being absurd
added
about a
some
number.
extra, but I can't
Ah.
remember what they were called.
It's irrelevant because it's so large it doesn't even matter. It's
I mean, at that
yeah.
point, you can't comprehend,
right.
dude. You can't even comprehend 5.88 trillion miles.
No, you can't.
Not truly.
No, dude, I bitch about having to drive like 2 or 3 miles. I hate
I
it.
bet you about 15-minute drive to work.
I don't like
I hate
2 or 3 miles. I don't want to go to the store.
I got a store at the end of my block, and I don't want to go to it.
No. So imagine if that
taking
store
a car trip
was
for a trillion
5.88 trillion miles away.
Well, I mean, even like, dude, we have a satellite going at like terminal velocity, and it's going to take like a fucking, what was it? What did they say? It was like 1,000
30,000 years to get to the next star or something.
Yeah, like just to leave our solar system, it was going to be like 1,500 years plus.
Yeah, it's stupid. Space is stupid.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's like so big for no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
Why do they have to be so far away? Like,
yeah,
I
why
wanna
does it
go-
got to be so big?
I want to go see if like the Avatar planet is real.
It might be.
I mean, like,
There
but
could
I
very
want to
well
go do
be a
that
planet
now.
where the Navi are real. You don't know.
And they're making movies where like the Navi invade Earth.
invade Earth. Yeah, like made up
They got
characters.
human clones running around.
But they don't even know humans are real. They're wondering the same thing.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah,
But what if there's a planet out there with those things like with humans on it?
those pink things.
Yeah.
But this message of his that was actually, yeah, it was actually decoded, and he laid it out supposedly, right?
Right. He laid it down. Yeah.
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 But it said, start here. Our home is Epsilon Boots. I just like saying boots now. It's Epsilon Boots.
It's Bootis.
Yeah. I'm sure it's like Botus. It's probably Epsilon Botus
Yeah, Bootis. Bootis.
or Bootis.
Yeah, you gotta say like you're just like Swedish chef. Bootis.
Epsilon Bootis.
Bootis.
Anyways, which is a double star. We live on the sixth planet of seven. Check that, sixth of seven. Counting outwards from the sun, which is the larger of the two. So I'm assuming it's their sun they orbit.
Right. It's a twin star. So
Yeah. So whichever one they're saying,
biggest-
don't
we're the
go to the
sixth
little
planet.
one, go to the big one.
right, we're the sixth planet from the biggest star.
Our sixth planet has one moon. Our fourth planet has three. Our first and third planets each have one. Our probe is in the orbit of your moon. This updates the position of Arcturus shown on our maps.
Who cares? Let me ask you this: who cares if you're in it? Like, if we're sending out a signal to another race, you're like, guess how many moons our planets have?
Yeah.
Who cares? They're like, okay, like an alien.
Maybe
It's
they
like,
just like that
shrugging
that
his
alien
shoulders.
race.
yeah,
They're just really into moons.
he's 200 light years away. He's just like, okay,
Yeah.
he's just like shrugging his shoulders. He's like, thanks, man. Like, who
Yeah, at least
cares?
we had the decency to like put a gold plate on ours with
Yeah.
all of our weak points on it.
Yeah, basically,
Show us
like,
exactly what we look like.
yeah, here's our DNA.
Here's all of
strand.
our joints.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Most people are scared of spiders
Yeah.
in public speaking. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
So if you're a spider race and love to talk out in public, you're
Well,
about to
the
fuck
best
us
part
up.
of it is that when they sent it out, they put like a bunch of music on it that nobody listens to anymore.
Yeah.
So like if they do come here, like
Wasn't it
we
like-
love, yeah, we
Like
love your
Elvis or some
music.
shit.
Yeah, we love the Big Bopper. It's like, oh, dude, he's been dead for like 90 years and nobody cares anymore.
Yeah. They
Oh,
come in with like the grease back hair.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, we thought this was like the top.
yeah, they're all
like-
dressed like the Fonz. Yeah.
Just walk around fucking smacking shit.
Yeah,
Get it to work.
it's just an entire civilization of pony boys. Yeah.
That's an old reference now.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, as we stated before, this is not proof that the object is actually alien or even 13,000 years old.
Right.
Duncan,
Again, how
he
would you-
came out later after this,
Yeah.
and he was like, he flat out said, he's like, I made outright errors, and that even his methods were completely quote unquote unscientific.
Okay. You're a scientist, dude.
How do you fuck that up? Like,
Be a
what do you mean?
scientist.
Like, I could understand if I went to you and be like, hey man,
Hmm.
I found this, weird looking metal thing. I'm thinking
Yeah.
it's 14,000 years old.
Yeah.
Well, how
I
do
think
you
it's
know
from-
that? I don't know. It kind of looks like 14,000 years old.
I drew a circle around it, and then I made.
I
up
let the
some math
sun, yeah, and then I let the sun hit it, and I did the math off of the shadow.
off of that. Yeah, threw it in the microwave for 30 seconds.
Yeah,
It's
you know,
like-
only metal from 14,000 years ago sparks like that.
dude, it's ridiculous. Like, if you're an astronomer, you're a scientist, right? Like, are you considered a scientist at that point?
Yeah.
In your
Because
mind.
I think they get doctorates, right? And
Well, I
kinda
don't
stuff
think you
like
have
that,
to have one to do that. I just think like the real, like, like narcissistic ones do. You know, like, oh, I'm a fucking doctor of fucking space rocks. It's like, oh, good for you, dude. Like, you can't get it. You can't get to them unless they fall to Earth. You got a doctorate in bullshit. That's what you got. But
you have to get lucky to make a
right. You got to find these rocks, or people bring them to you. You do none of the work.
You know yeah. Yeah, you just sit there and you just hope.
Yeah, you look under a microscope and then make shit up. You know what I mean?
Dude, you have your whole thing is hope. That's what you do.
I'm sure none of that is accurate, but
no, not even a little
this
bit.
guy, like, if you're a scientist, you're a scientist. Aren't you a scientist like all the time? Like everywhere you go, like you're a scientist. Like you're at fucking, Arby's and you're a scientist. You're still a scientist there. You have like scientist thinking like all the time. And he's like,
what? Plus, it's the way they're taught to be. Like they have to, you have to like change your whole.
Like
not always.
Spock's.
I mean, there's obviously been some quacks out there before.
Yeah, they're like Spock. They're supposed to think with logic first and emotion second. You know what I mean?
Well, here's why I want like, how do you do it unscientific?
That's my point.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
What did you do?
Made it up.
Yeah. Did you just like throw like fucking went and got your Yahtzee thing, just started rolling dice to see?
Well, what he did was he was trying to type boobs into a calculator and fucked it up.
Yeah. He had that.
What is it?
Eureka moment.
58008 918. And you flip it over, it's supposed to say big boobs. And he fucked that all up. And he's like, oh, 13,000.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, I know we're browbeating this guy. You know what I mean? But still, like, cool. Well, like, he gets cool points for trying. You know what I mean? He gets cool points for even looking at it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're cool. You might have messed up, but in my book, you're still a cool dude. But it's like you said, he's a scientist. It's like he made errors. Okay. You are looking at something that nobody's really ever seen before.
Well, dude, I mean, like, even
fair to make errors.
In
but
science,
to say that you didn't do anything scientific.
Shit's always changing.
Right.
Right. Like, dude, they just made a discovery, I think, with what's the new telescope we have up there?
James Webb.
Yeah. And they're able to see so much more, dude. They're thinking that our universe is like double its age.
Yeah.
They thought it was like 13 billion. Now they're like, no, it might be like 30 billion.
Yeah. Even still, they don't really. I mean, they kind of have an idea of like how to break it down mathematically. Yeah. You know what I mean? So those guys, I more tend to agree with. You know what I mean?
I mean, hell, this falls right in line with his
it's in his wheelhouse
career.
Yeah.
It's 100% like what he'd be looking at. But like, I can understand if hey, I forgot to carry the 2 kind of math.
Again, you could be potentially looking at an alien thing that nobody's ever seen before. You're doing the best you can with what you got.
You can't get to it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the problem is like the question does have to be asked if Duncan was made or forced to refute his claims.
I'm more on
it's not the first time the government has done something like that.
Yeah. I'm on that train, honestly. Like, I think they said, hey, buddy, like, you better turn this shit around right now.
Well, I mean, dude, it's either he was forced to do it, right?
Yeah.
He was just looking for attention. He kind of wanted to bring it back up.
Right.
Because it might have, like we said, it might have affected his career. So he's wanting to kind of backpedal from it, saying, hey, no, I messed all this up. This is on me.
Well, when they send like fucking Dirty Harry to your house, you know what I mean? When Clint Eastwood shows up at your front door pointing a gun at
Chuck
your kids.
Norris, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shows up.
Like, listen, man, you're gonna shut up, or you're gonna be buying a lot of tiny caskets. Yeah. You're gonna refute what you say,
Yeah. Or he really wanted to believe the object was alien in origin, and he forced his findings to reflect his belief.
Right. I think you're onto something with that. Because like myself, and I know like a lot of people say it's kind of a common trope, I think, at this point, but like I want to believe so much that I border on the naive when it comes to it.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, like a lot of, I know you ain't gonna like this too much.
Probably not.
Like a lot of Bigfoot hunters have been caught like faking evidence because they believe in Bigfoot so much.
Yeah.
That they need something. They're trying to pull attention to them.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to make a name for themselves, but they can't find anything, so they fake shit.
I've injected myself with several fake alien implants just to get eyeballs on it. You know what I mean? I mean, that absolutely happens though. And
Yeah.
I think and I think this is another common trope, like what you just said. Like, I think a lot of people feel that way, is that they fake it just enough to try to get attention to it, and then like real,
Yeah,
quote
they're trying
unquote,
to, you know,
science will come and take a look
of
at
course,
it. and
this is for a cryptid, but they're running out of money. They
they
need
never had money to
funds.
begin with. Have you seen these
Well,
people?
Yeah,
Have you?
but they're
Look at
running
me.
whatever money.
Look at me. I'm broke as shit,
Yeah,
and I believe
you
in
see it
aliens
on
and
your
Bigfoot.
face. You can see it on your face. You're broke.
I haven't been able to afford a razor in months.
But like, dude. But anyways, like these people, they're running out of money.
Mhm.
They're running. You know, whoever came with them, they're starting to doubt it.
Right.
You know, time's starting to run out. They gotta go
Mhm.
back to their 9 to 5. So they
Right.
have to come up with something
Right.
to get, you know, to get sponsors. Essentially, they need more time. They need more money, more resources.
Right. And I mean, some of this stuff is
All you gotta do is fake a footprint. Boom. Now you get put onto the local news,
Mhm.
and you'll have some fucking restaurant throwing you a couple grand.
right, or maybe it hits the AP wire. You know what I mean? If they haven't figured out if it's a hoax yet, you know what I mean? It'll
Yeah.
hit national news, and it'll be like a side story. You know what I mean? That people like, because it's kind of like, you know, those stories are like, now it's all online. You know what I mean? Like, if you go to, like, NBC or even like freaking like Yahoo News or something, you're gonna see a Bigfoot story from time, an alien UFO sighting story from time to time, because it's almost like, okay, you're reading, you know, quote unquote, the news. You know what I mean? Which I don't believe any of that's factual, no matter really where you're looking at it. I don't think there's any unbiased site that you can actually find, like, the unbiased
No, they're either
truth.
they're either
Alex
like,
Jones, maybe? I
really
don't know.
into it,
Even
or they're
he's
really not
kinda,
into it,
right,
and they're trying to pretend
right,
the opposite. But yeah, I
right,
mean,
exactly.
they're
So
either a believer or they're not, and you could see it in their writing.
right, and like on those sites, like those stories are kind of like the Weekly World News version. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like I'm gonna read this like fun like Bigfoot sighting where it like terrorized a family's barbecue in Alabama.
Yeah, dude, I used to love reading those things.
I think you
Like
can
the
still get
weekly
them.
edition. Are they still around?
I
I
think
thought they
so.
went away.
I think so.
Like Bat Boy and all that kind of stuff.
Like, I
Yeah,
think
that
if
was
you go
great.
to like the really shady grocery stores in your neighborhoods, that's where you
It
find
used to
them.
be in the regular grocery store.
Yeah, it was like National Enquirer, The Star, and Weekly World News.
News.
Yeah, that was the best ever. That was the best
Yeah,
thing
they
ever.
were that was a great.
I think Weekly World News invented Photoshop.
No, that was Stalin invented Photoshop,
Was it?
dude. back-
For the Weekly World News? That's incredible. That's
No.
incredible.
No, Stalin, dude, legitimately was having people airbrushed out of photos after he killed them.
Yeah.
Like I think he quite literally invented the
He invented
Photoshop.
the idea of Photoshop.
Yeah,
Of like he
Yeah,
invented
dude,
the
he'd, like,
idea of
kill off a
removing people
friend.
out of your pictures you no longer speak to.
yeah,
And you can't he just couldn't speak to him because he had him murdered.
yeah. Like he had a friend killed, and he's like, "Well, I just need to erase them right out of that
Yeah.
picture."
Not because you had a disagreement about what your favorite Starbucks order was.
No,
Maybe
it was
now.
like, you changed your hairstyle.
Yeah.
How'd you go?
I only mess with people with blue hair. Yeah. I mean, that's good. I had not heard that. I had not
Yeah.
heard that Stalin did that kind of stuff, but I believe it
Yeah,
100%.
that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
But I believe it.
I believe it. So moving on from potential, and I hate to even say it, like a charlatan, you know what I mean? Like, to sound like an old timey
Yeah.
guy, but I mean, maybe he was looking for 15 minutes of fame. Maybe he was made to
make it
retract what
look
he
like.
said. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, hey, dude, seriously, shut up right now,
Or else.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, the public needs to get its first look at a strange object, right? And it does come from an unlikely source, NASA. Never
Yeah.
a straight answer. That's on every UFO documentary where they're smashing the government ever. Like, every time it's on there. You know what I mean? And so during the shuttle mission, actually, STS-88, which is one of the most famous ones, apparently, if you're into space flights. I don't know, space shuttle launches, if you're into that kind of thing. It's one of the first missions that went to the International Space Station, the Russians one. And so while they were doing that, a series of images were taken by the shuttle crew themselves and were actually released on NASA's website. Right. And that like blew the whole alien space probe or space satellite theory like out of the water, dude. Like it was everywhere.
Yeah, because the first time ever NASA's putting something up.
Right. That's a little weird. That's a little strange. That's, they've been doing stuff like that though, because they have like that NASA like live space channel like on the space station and on their shuttles and stuff like that, where every time they see some weird stuff, they just like all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're having a technical error, and they like cut the feed immediately.
Yeah, they do
and
that
a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of times they do that. So now everybody's got UFO space satellite fever. So, it's just going off the rails. So, however, like any good government agency that has to deal with, aliens and UFOs and that whole phenomenon had an explanation ready to go, prepackaged. It slaps.
Yeah, straight up bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This answer is fire, dude. They're gonna love this one. So the national officials state that the photos of the object, right, the weird one that you see, like if you Google Black Knight satellite, it's the number one image that pops up, right?
Yeah, it's the exact one.
It looks like a fucking space alien creation. It does look like that. Period. Like it 100% does. Right.
Yeah, it doesn't look man-made or anything like that.
Right. But NASA says that it was a thermal blanket drifting off into space. Right. So I'm like, okay. So this is a blanket. It's, dude, you're in space. So you're taking a picture from like 1,000 miles away or more, and it still looks gigantic.
Yeah,
but it looks super small.
Plus, that the thermal blanket doesn't explain Tesla and Marconi.
Right, Marconi, that was the guy's name. Yeah.
And it doesn't explain the ham radio things everyone's picking up. It doesn't explain the fact. Yeah, it only explains that picture.
Well, the funny thing is that like they're like, okay, it's a space blanket, right? It's like, well, this was in like the 90s. What about in the 60s to 70s when that's when that or whatever the committee was formed? You know what I mean? Like that doesn't explain that at all.
That's what I was saying. Like it that explanation only is for that picture,
right? And even the what's his name, Duncan.
Yeah,
he. I don't think he was in the 90s either. I think that was like in the 70s or 80s, if I'm not mistaken. So it doesn't explain really anything.
It doesn't explain anything, but they're just slapping it on there as a fix-all.
Right. So like what's a thermal blanket, right? So just to kind of give you an idea what that is. So it's not like an ordinary blanket. It's not a comforter. You know what I mean? That you have at your house. It's not like a special space blanket that like space blanket. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
That like astronauts use to stay warm, right? Because space is super cold, which doesn't make a lot of sense, considering how they're like right in front of the sun. Why isn't it? You would think space would be hot, but I don't know.
No,
I'm not a scientist.
It's one of those things, dude, where it's like if you were floating in space, the part of you that was facing the sun would cook, and the part of you that was facing away from the sun would freeze.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Space is stupid. Like it's like the whole like you're cut in half, like you're like a hot pocket, hot on the outside and frozen solid on the inside. So stupid. But the space blanket, I keep saying space blanket, the thermal blanket is actually used to cover certain areas of the space shuttle itself, right? Like the fuselage, the upper wings, and the vertical tail that it has, right? To keep it from getting, I guess, ice on it. You know what I mean? Because it is super
ice
cold.
or
whatever,
superheated, whatever.
Right, exactly. Especially on the fuselage, I bet you that's super important to have something like that on there. So, like, the theory was also backed up by a former NASA engineer, go figure, and his name was James Oberg. So he's like, "Oh no, that's what it is."
Yeah, it's not that I used to work for these guys, and I
Mm.
probably have an NDA that I have to
Hmm. Right.
probably held to certain.
If there was a least credible guy to say it, it's this guy.
Yeah,
You
it'd
know
be
what I
different
mean?
if it was like the University of something something
Right.
astronomer was like, oh no, that is definitely.
Right. Not a guy that
But
works for the place that everybody doesn't trust.
yeah, it doesn't hold much
Immediately
weight.
doesn't trust them. You know what I mean? Like NASA's full of shit and everybody knows it. They hide a ton of stuff, which again, I do understand some of the classification and some of the hidden stuff, right? Not we can't like I think the people like especially like myself and other guys out there who really want to know like the full truth, about stuff is like we can't know some of it. Right, because there is like trade secret stuff, especially like classified stuff that we need to have so our enemies don't find out or beat us to the punch or whatever.
Yeah.
Like some of that stuff has to be done. It has to be. We can't know the whole truth all the time about everything.
Well, no, I mean, and plus, there's some things that just need to happen behind closed doors.
Mhm.
Need to
Yeah.
happen in the shadows.
Right. For that exact reason. There's espionage is real. It's not just in James Bond movies and stuff like that. Stuff's real. Like there's spies, like there's legit spies
Yeah,
that infiltrate
that's an
places and find out
actual fucking
information.
career path you could take.
Yeah, that actually happens. I mean, I don't know if they're putting on like like nano mask and it make you look like a different person, and they're like using like retinal scanners, like I mean, like hologram
No, I
ones to
doubt
open
that,
doors.
but it's
You know what I
probably
mean?
more just. I mean,
No,
you're an actor.
they strangle you with garrote wire in your sleep.
Yeah.
That's more what they do. You know what I mean? Like they're not. I mean, they're not coming in off suspension wires and typing in on a keyboard in
No.
fucking CIA headquarters. They're not doing that kind of stuff. But like I get it.
Yeah.
In some part of it, like saying, hey, you're like, yeah, like the UFO hearing, for instance, right? Like, yeah, okay. I think it's okay to say, hey, yeah, aliens are visiting us, right? Like the aliens are real. The UFOs are real. You know what I mean?
But I'm
Yes,
not going to tell you on camera
right,
what companies
right,
are attached to this.
right. Like I think it's
Who is
even
attached
okay
to
to
this?
say, like, hey, and we have some of the ships, like we
Yeah.
have some of it,
But
but
don't say where.
right, like
On
don't give
camera.
me like a progress report on your reverse engineering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't
Just
give
tell
me.
me that they are doing it. We have had success.
Just tell us that we're not
And
alone in the universe.
yeah. Like you could
That's a
do
big
you could
thing,
you could say
man.
so much without ever having to say anything.
Right. I said it like I said before, it's like one of the biggest questions ever.
Yeah.
Are we alone in this gigantic, stupidly large universe? It's right next to is there a God? What happens after we die? It's like right up there.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna suck for all like the major religions if ET ever shows up.
I wrong again, I think, unfortunately, because I'm gonna tell you why. So a few years back, maybe 10, maybe 20 years ago now, it's within that ballpark time frame that the Vatican
Yeah, they started their
they
own.
coming out like, yep, we believe that there's aliens in the universe, that there's other life in the universe. Like we believe all this.
Yeah. Well, I think that was just them trying to get ahead.
They are.
They're like, hey, we're gonna cover our bases by
That's
saying
super
this.
smart of them to do.
Yeah.
That's very smart of them to do. At the same time, though, I like I don't really know the Bible well enough to like quote it, anything like that. But like there are like the God populated the universe. You know what I mean? Like it's not just humans and all the rest of it's for nothing, literally nothing. You know what I mean?
It's just there. Just no, those were mistakes.
Right.
That was the beta Earth.
Right.
Right.
But
Alpha
that's what
Earth,
I throw at. That's what I throw at skeptics, and they're like, "Oh, I don't really believe in aliens." It's like, then why the hell does the universe exist in the first place?
Yeah.
Why does it exist?
It doesn't make any sense.
It's
For it to be that
it's a
big and
waste
have
of time.
nothing.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. It's a waste of space. It's an absolute waste of space. Like if there's nothing there, what is the point?
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know
if
what I'm
it's
saying?
all just pieces of giant chunks of rock.
Right. Like even like the junk planets, I call them. You know what I mean? Like Jupiter
Yeah.
and Uranus and all those, you know what I mean? I'm gonna class it out Uranus. I'm not falling in that trap. But essentially it's like if you were like a large enough and smart enough civilization, Like those planets aren't useless. They're made up of tons
Of
of
raw material.
gases and stuff, raw material stuff that you can use to advance your civilization. 100%.
Yeah.
They have it. You know what I mean? It's like there's
They
planets
just
that
have
rain
something.
diamonds.
Yeah.
It rains diamonds, for Christ's
Yeah.
sake. I mean, granted, the pressure is so much it would like crush you within milliseconds of being
Yeah, but
there.
I mean, if you talk about a civilization that's, a billion years more advanced than us,
if you're traveling the stars, you can. I don't think that's
I
that
don't
big a
think
deal.
I don't think like Jupiter's atmosphere is a problem for you.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like even that stuff has can be used as for some purpose.
Yeah.
But who knows, man?
Yeah.
Who knows? But back to the NASA thing, right? So they've made several kind of like statements debunking the photos. It's not being an alien satellite, but like an ordinary Earth-made fabric or space junk or asteroids or whatever you may call it. So they're kind of jumping all over the place, just trying to latch onto something. Like as time goes, the explanation changes to be more like official sounding. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
no,
that
it was a
and
thermal blanket with our with our shuttle program. That sounds a lot better than
updated with the times.
space junk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna be harder for someone to believe that Earth caught an asteroid in its orbit,
Right.
as opposed to, oh, yeah, we dropped something out there.
Right. That
Like
sounds
we just
more
we fucking butterfingered it
right.
and it's floating away.
Right.
That
So
sounds more
that's
logical than
right. It makes more sense to the lay person,
Yeah.
But so the thing is, though, so like they put all the images on the website, right? And the links to those images were made available to the public, right? But after a while, they were lost on the website due to an update.
Yeah.
To the website, conveniently wiped out every image that was really
Of the Black Knight.
Was available for it. And needless to say, again, that sent people off the reservation. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
They're lying to us, which maybe they are.
Yeah.
I'm on their team. I 100% think that they're lying to us about fucking all of it. All of it. The hearing that just happened proves a good bit of that.
For sure, man.
They're
Like,
lying about
no way.
tons. They're lying about tons of stuff. And they're, breaking legitimate law. Some of these companies and the defense contract, they're breaking the law. They're not above it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that Congressman.
I kind of hope they have like another hearing, stay like with an updated list and stuff like that.
If these people survive, I hope they do too. Like I think Fravor and Graves will be okay because they're just fighter pilots, and you know what I mean. Like
they're just doing what. Yeah, I'm sure they were ordered to be there.
It's the Grush guy that I'm legitimately worried for his safety.
Yeah,
because if he's telling the truth, dude, that is monumental information. Like monumental.
The only thing that could help him would be if he made a big enough and loud enough statement. He has to who did that? Was it Stephen Greer who did that? No, what was the other one?
Bob Lazar. Working at Area 51.
Yeah, but he made such a huge deal about it. He stayed in the public eye, and he stayed doing all these conventions. And
in his documentary that Jeremy Corbell did, that Bob Lazar, Area 51 UFOs and flying saucers or whatever, like he's like, I thought I set the record straight back in '89. I didn't think this would be like my entire life. I'm like, dude, you said you worked at a government facility working on alien spaceships. You didn't think that people are going to want to talk to you for the rest of your entire life about that?
Yeah. If necromancy existed, they would raise you from the dead to talk to you about that.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, are you crazy? Like, what do you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen, man?
Yeah.
Like even if it's a true story, it's incredible. If it's a fake story,
it's still
good
incredible
on you because you've never changed it. Good on him. He's never changed that story at ever one time, not even one iota of it. But it's like to assume that nobody's going to want to ever talk to you about it again after that one time you did an anonymous interview on some shitty station in Las Vegas. It is ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's like this David Grush guy. This is the rest of your life now.
Yeah, you might as well just jump onto the the circuit and start
Yep.
touring the country.
Yep.
'Cause-
Go on Ancient Aliens, pal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what he's gonna have to do. He's gonna have to
Suckalose would love to
stay
have you.
in the public eye.
Yeah. Well, he's not gonna have a choice at
Yeah.
this point. He's either gonna have to change his name and move to a different country. Yeah. Or he's gonna just have to embrace it and run with it because this is the rest of your life now.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
is what you'll be known for forever. Is the guy that potentially brought us at least part of the truth. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay. Like I said, I don't need to know if a lot of what is happening in that phenomenon. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay with some of it being a mystery. I'm okay with that. I like that. You know what I mean? I like the just making up wild accusations with no proof. You know what I mean? Like I love it. Yeah, that's the best part of it. You know, it's just like you can literally like whatever your imagination could come up with is good enough. You know, I mean that's good enough for some people.
It makes
But-
it a lot more fun that way.
Right, exactly. But it's the yes, they're real. Yes, they're coming here. That's good enough for me.
That's
good
all you
enough for
really
me.
need.
Yep. So I can just go back to all these smug assholes that I know and point in their face and laugh at them maniacally and tell them that I was right. It really comes back to narcissism. Fuck you, I was right.
Yeah.
I told you. I told you.
told you, man. I told you
Yeah.
they were coming.
But I think I'm gonna forget all of them. They're like, yeah, man, I believed you, remember? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, man. Sorry, I was
Not
on a
one
roll.
person believed you.
You were kind of in my path, man. Like my warpath of vengeance and redemption. You know what I mean? You were kind of in the way. Sorry. You know what I mean? But since like the links on the website and all that though, since they're gone now, Black Knight satellite is in that conspiracy
Now
theory
it's
bin.
ingrained.
Right. Yep.
I mean, like, dude, look at Area 51. It's an open secret, but you don't see anybody trying to like. There's no new shit coming out from them. It's the same shit. Oh yeah, we have this, we have that. If the government was just like all of a sudden wipe Area 51 out, just like
Yeah.
clear all the buildings. No, Area 51 never existed.
Yeah, they couldn't do that
Whole
now.
new- yeah. But
Well,
what I
they
mean is
had-
that like by getting rid of those pictures and not immediately putting them back up,
Right.
you've cemented it into
Right.
now it's some because
Now it's
if
lore.
they had left it up,
It's part of the canon. now.
eventually people would eventually have gone, "No, maybe it is just a piece of junk."
Right.
But now that you've
Mm.
taken it down, it's 100%.
Well, then you get it was doctored. They took it
Yeah.
down, they doctored it, and then they put it back up. It's not the original
Yeah.
picture. I remember it.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
I
human
have saved
memory
on my
is
computer,
literally
but
one of
I
the
threw
worst.
that computer out.
Right. Yeah. Like human memory is the worst for
It's
recalling things.
notoriously
Yeah. So
unreliable.
anyone's like, oh, I remember everything. Like, you don't. You don't. You absolutely don't remember it. I guarantee it. It's not possible. You know what I mean? Like 10 people on earth have an eidetic memory. You're not one of them. You know what I mean? Like that's a fact. You're not one of them, pal. You know, but like we'll never know, man. You know, maybe one day they'll reopen it and really take a hard look at it. Maybe it'll come out in one of these hearing things. You never know what's coming next.
Yeah, I mean the satellite's kind of small fry
Compared.
in the grand scheme of it,
Right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I still have hope. You know,
Yeah,
that-
it'd be nice to know more about it.
well, it'd be cool to
Just
know
find
that
out
it
what
was-
that committee came up with.
like
you
no,
know?
it was really there for like 10,000 years. It
Yeah.
was, reporting on us and stuff. It's like that's super scary, but super cool at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like knowing the boogeyman's real. It's like that's terrifying, but
But-
kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
at the same time that
I
because
mean, I gotta go to the store and find some anti-boogeyman stuff, but
Well, yeah. It's like mothballs. You just put like
Yeah.
mothballs around your doors. He hates the smell of mothballs. But it's just something that's not super boring regular life. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
your 9 to 5. It's not, your family, which is cool, but like it's not as cool as like aliens being real and visiting Earth. It's not as cool. You know what I mean? Like it's cool for like that's the thing, like the aliens like being real and like them telling us all that stuff. Like it's gonna be a shock for like 6 months. And then
yeah, then once it
humans
gets
have a
over,
short like you said, humans have a short attention span.
yeah, I mean, something new will come up. People will forget about it and be like, "Oh, okay." Dude, give it a year and people are gonna forget that damn. Only people in those circles are gonna remember that hearing.
I'll remember it.
Like
gonna
your
pass
normal
down the
regular
recording
person is
For
never gonna
generations.
remember it. You know?
Yeah. I'm gonna put it in a time capsule and bury it at elementary school illegally. Like they're gonna need to see this
Yeah,
because in 50 years, this is gonna be normal.
yeah. When every piece of evidence of that hearing was
Right.
wiped clean.
I want him to see how paranoid people were back 50 years ago. It's good to get a good understanding on it. But that's Black Knight Satellite.
Yeah.
We'll never talk about it again.
Not unless something new comes up.
It won't.
No, probably not.
I made myself sad. It probably never will. All
I
right,
hurt
guys.
my
Well,
own feelings.
thanks for joining us. Follow us on what is all the things? The follow us on the YouTubes, the Instagrams.
Facebook, right?
Yeah, Facebook.
Yeah. Facebook,
If-
YouTube,
If you're
Instagram.
into Facebook, if you're still, a Gen Xer or whatever, you still use Facebook like a fucking chode. Good. It's there in case you want to
Yeah.
go check it out. But thanks for joining us. We'll catch you soon. Take care.
See y'all.
Bye.